Good evening, everyone. Welcome to class. So, today we are going to be designing something a little bit different from what I've been doing. So, for some time now, we have been doing social media flyers. Today, we are going to be working on a church flyer design. And this time around, we are going to be working entirely with a background from outside. So now, the first thing I'm going to do is to click on these double boxes here. Then I'm going to import the background I'm going to be using from my gallery. Design. So now that I've gotten my background, the first thing I'm going to do now is to bring in two resources from my gallery that I am going to be using for this particular design. Remember, it's a church flyer design, so we are making this flyer for evangelism. So I'm going to click on this button on top of this place. Then I'm going to go straight from gallery. So this time around, instead of picking from this place, instead of picking from here, from this button over here, I am now picking from this button on top of this place. The two of them have two different functions. Okay, so this is a logo. This is the first image we'll be working with. So as I've brought it here, I'm going to lock it up and I'm going to hide it. Then I'm going to go in and bring in the second one. So after bringing in this second one, I'm still going to do the same thing, lock it up and hide it. Then I'm going to go and bring in the third one. This is the last image. This is the last image we'll be using. So once I've brought in this one too, I'm going to lock it up. Okay, it's not actually the last. We still have one more to go. So this is definitely the last image we'll be bringing in for this. So now we are going to lock it up and we are going to hide it. Then from here henceforth, we are just going to be flowing step by step. Now this background was manipulated and modified with AI. So if you look here, you are going to see this watermark. So the first thing we are going to do now is to hide the watermark. So for that, I'm going to come over to this place and then I'll click on draw. Then I'm going to pick this particular color. If you are looking for it, look at the color code here. You can copy it. #743419. Okay. So I'm going to increase my pen size a little bit like this to the highest. Then I'm going to increase the blur radius to the highest. So I'm going to pick my color now. This particular color is what I'm picking. Then I'm just going to gently tap on it. As you can see, it has already been hidden properly now. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to lock it up. Then from now here, the next thing I'm going to do now is to bring in this first logo out in plain sight. I'm going to reduce the size. Place it up here. Then I'm going to bring in my text. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my text now. So this is exactly how it is going to be looking. Then now I'm going to reduce the size a little. Then I'm going to go to font now. So I don't have any fonts in mind. I'm just going to scroll through some of my former fonts and then we are just going to pick one. Okay, I think this button bold is going to be okay. Then we'll go to alignment, then we'll align it to the center. So I think it is just okay like this. So now we are just going to reduce the size a little. Then we are going to add, because we are going to be placing it up here. As you can see, once we placed it up here, it's not really looking okay like that. I mean, you cannot see the text properly. So we'll be adding a little stroke to it. Our stroke color is going to be black. So we'll just increase the stroke width to 4. I think 4 is okay. Then we reduce the size further to get what we want. Placing it like this, it's already okay. Then we are going to align it to the center. So we are going to be using relative position for that. We have aligned it to the center. The next thing we are going to do is to lock it up. Then we will now work on this particular image now. Just reduce the size, raise it up, and place it side by side with it properly. So for this, we are going to be using normal position now for this. Yeah, this position. So this is the way it's looking. I'm going to add white stroke to it. So I'm going to leave the stroke width at 1. I'm going to lock it up. Then this second one now, I'm going to bring it out again, unlock it, and then still work on it. So now, in order for us to still get what we want, we'll have to reduce all of them entirely again. So we'll start with this guy. We'll reduce the size drastically. Then we'll measure this guy to see that it enters properly without looking off. Okay, I think it is okay. Then we'll also unlock this guy and reduce its size a little bit, the first logo. Okay, so I think it is looking okay like this. Then we are going to align it to the center, of course. Then we are now going to use position to move this guy further a little bit. Then we'll bring it down. So this is the way this one is looking. Then we are just going to add a white stroke to it, just like we added to the first one. So we'll leave the stroke width at 1. It is okay like this. Then we are just going to bring this guy to align with this one properly at the right angle. So we need to reduce this guy a little bit. So we are going to lock this first two to avoid interfering with it, since we have gotten it correctly. So we are just going to click on this guy, use our relative size to reduce the size a little bit. It was 11 before for the width, so maybe this time around we are going to leave it at, okay, yeah, let's go with that 11. So this is the way it is looking now. Now we are done with the top section of the design. Then the next thing we are going to do now is this particular one, this text effect. We are going to bring it in. So if you are looking at it, it's dark, it doesn't really suit this background, so we are just going to change the color to white. So we're using a white color for it instead. Now if you look at it, the stretch is too much, so we are just going to use and manually adjust it to look something like this. Now this is okay. It's still not looking proper because of the top of this place, so we are now going to add a dark stroke to it, just a little. We'll change our stroke color to black. then I think we'll leave it at 2. 2 is okay. Or is it too much? Okay, let's leave it at 2. So we are going to bring it downwards a little like this. Then we are now going to use this relative position to place it at the center. So now this is the way it is looking. We are done with this side with this part of the design. We are just going to lock it up now. And then the next thing to do is to fill up our text and other details. So now we are going to input another text. So I'm going to be using this side now to edit it. Meeting point. Okay, so this is where our meeting point is looking. We are now going to go over back to fonts. So I think we are going to use Bold for the meeting point. It really suits. We're just going to reduce the size. Now, so now this is my text meeting point. Now this is what I want to achieve. I want it to look as if it was painted on these billboards over here, like it was painted on it. Now for me to achieve that, I'm going to be using perspective for this. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this grid icon over here. Then I'm going to click on this button here. So now after clicking on that button, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this first guy. As I click on it, it has been highlighted in yellow. I'm going to click it, bring it over to this side. Then click on this second one, bring it over to this side, so that I'll get the edges of the particular billboards I want to work with. Then for the second one, I'll bring this one over here, so that to be touching this edge here, Then I'll click on this image one and bring it here, align it to this place. Now you have to take note to know how your grids are going. Then I'm going to click on this grid down here. I'm going to place it here to be a meeting point between this guy and this guy. I'm going to bring this top one and then place it downwards here. Now once I click here, this is the way my grid now will be looking. Then I'm going to come over here. I'll click on perspective now. Remember, I have to place it at the center first. Then I'm going to click on perspective. This is my perspective here. I'll click on it. Okay, wait, before I do that, let me move it to this point so that it's going to be easier from here. Then I'll click on my perspective. After enabling it, I'm going to start working on it one by one. For this first button, I'm going to bring it up here. Now it is exactly at the middle of this. Since it's at the middle now, I'm going to bring this second guy here now. Now this is the middle of this particular one at the top, is the middle of this one. So I'm going to place it at the middle here. This is the way it is looking. I'm going to bring in this guy now and place him down here to this edge I created down here. Now as it's at the edge, this is the way it will be looking. So I just want it to be at the middle in order to get my desired result. Then I'll bring this node over here now. Once I bring this node, I'm going to leave it at this top one, since it is the top point now that I am working with. Then I'm just going to bring this one a little bit downwards. So having brought it like this, I'm going to remove the grid icon and then I'm going to click OK. So from my perspective point now, this is the way it is looking. So this is the way it is looking. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to reduce the size so that it's going to enter inside where I am fixing it properly. Then I'm going to go to rotate. I'm going to go to rotate now, and then I'm going to rotate it just to the front a little. I'm going to leave it at 4. See the way it is looking now. Then I'm going to place it like that. I'm going to reduce the size further a little. Then I'm now going to place it like this. Can you see the way it is looking now? Now I'm going to lock it up. Now since it's already in the perspective like this, I don't want to stress myself and start recreating the same perspective from the beginning again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this exact text. It is already in the perspective view as it is now. So I'm just going to go and edit it. Now as you can see, it is already in the same perspective now. Can you see it? So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to go, because I don't want to use the same font for it. So the font I'm going to be using for this one is Montserrat Semi Bold. So I'm just going to scroll down and look for it. Montserrat Semi Bold. Now this is the way it is looking. I'm just going to reduce the size further, and then I'm just going to place it like this. Okay, let me reduce the size further more a little. So now can you see the way it is looking now? So I'm going to lock it up. Then I'm going to copy this first one again. I'm going to copy it. Then I'm now going to write. I'm going to edit it again. So now since it is already like this at the same point where I wanted it to be earlier, then I'm just going to go over, place it here again, go back to my perspective now and restart it afresh. But this time around it's going to be much easier. So this is just what I'm going to do. Place this node here, then place this node over here, bring this one downwards. Then I'm going to bring this one too downwards. Can you see the way it is looking now? So I'm just going to reduce the size. So I'm going to place it like this. Then I'm now going to lock it up. Then I'm going to copy this AG auditorium back, and then I'm going to re-edit it. Okay, so I'll still go back now to my perspective. I'm going to go back to my perspective. Okay, let me not do it this method. This might be a little stressful, so I'll just delete it. Since I've already gotten this first guy in the same perspective I want to recreate again, I'm just going to copy from here now. Then I'm going to change the font to Montserrat Semi Bold. Then I'm now going to edit it. So after re-editing it, this is the way it's going to look like. I'm just going to reduce the size further, and then I'll place it downwards here. So now this is the way it's looking. We have achieved what we wanted. So now, having achieved this, the next thing now we are going to do is to input our date and our time, then we are done. So for this, I'm going to input my text. So for this one, the font I'm going to be using for it is Montserrat Alternate Bold. Okay, Montserrat Alternate Black actually. So now this is the way it's going to be looking. I'm going to align it to center now. Then I'll reduce the size. I'm just going to place it here. Then I'm going to lock it up. This is where this other image now is going to come in handy. So we are going to move it to front. So we'll reduce the size further a little bit, then we are going to bring it down. So this is the way it's looking. Then we are going to copy this exact image, then we are going to edit it. So now we are done with this part of it. Then the next thing we are going to do now is to input. We are still going to copy the same text, input our final wording now, more like a call to action. Now this is the way it is looking. We are going to place it down here, and then I'm going to go to my line spacing, and then I'm going to move it to 100. Then I'm going to reduce the size so that the full text will be in view. Don't miss out. So I'm going to be using relative position to place it at the center. So this is the way it's looking. Our design is done. The next thing now that we are going to do is to further refine the image in PixArt and in Snapseed. So for now, we are just going to save it as project. Okay, then we are now going to save it as image. So we are going to move it from JPG to PNG and from default to ultra. Then we save to gallery.